You've got to know, what is this thing that I have found? What is this?
What's this?
I like that.
Yep, it's all by itself now.
I know.
What's this?
All right, so this is the second
For
in
little
our
mini-sodes.
Mini-sodes, right.
Yes.
Baby installment.
Mini-sode.
Mini-cast.
Yes.
What do we...
I said mini-sode.
Mini-sode?
Yeah, because it's like an episode that's mini. It's a mini episode combined. Mini-sode.
Okay.
No?
No, that's fine. I like that. I like that.
Mini-cast is good too.
Mini-sode. No, I like mini-sode better.
Oh, okay, I have one thing.
All right.
This is just a peek into side. This is how my brain works.
Okay.
I'm don't feel attacked. I'm not attacking your buddy's Daft Punk.
Oh, okay.
That song, Get Lucky.
Okay.
It's getting a lot of radio play.
Sure.
A lot of radio play. So in my head is just people going, "We're up all night to get lucky.
Right.
We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
Over and over.
We're up all night." Yes.
Yes.
So you see how that got annoying after 3, and you were like, "All right, you don't have to sing it anymore."
Right.
They didn't know that.
They didn't.
Anyways, so I'm listening to this song going, "Oh my god, this song's so repetitive." Then I realize it's the musical equivalent of "It's a Small World."
It really is.
Because that is the same thing over and over again as well.
It is.
Not knowing when they should stop, which is about a quarter of the way through the ride. And then this is how my brain works. So I move on. So I'm like, yeah, all right, good connection, Greg.
Yeah, Daft Punk,
Small World, Daft Punk, good connection.
It is kind of. You're right.
So now I've thought about It's a Small World After All.
I like both of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about It's a Small World After All for a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like thinking about that song and thinking, that's the end of a ride.
Right.
That entire ride is the end of a ride.
What do you mean?
Well, they're celebrating something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. And they're telling me it's a small world after all.
Mm-hmm.
But they did not give me the preceding 3 verses of song where someone was like, I don't know, this world's pretty big. And now they're like, no, it's a small world after all. And it's like, you can't put after all in there unless someone presupposed that it was not a small world.
I see. If let's just suppose from it was a Dr. Seuss book, we would have a journey of somebody thinking how big the world is, and discovering, hey,
it's a small world after all.
I understand what you're saying,
but we missed the part. We missed almost like 90% of the story. We missed.
Okay,
we just came in for where they're telling you, no, you idiot, it's a small world after all, and you're like, I didn't say it wasn't.
Here's my argument to counter what you just said. If you were a person going to Disneyland, white, in the 1960s, you did not need the first part of the story because that's where you were living. You needed someone just to tell you they're not that different from you.
There are other people, you know that, right?
There are other people in this world, and they're not that different from you.
Okay, but I
now we've grown up in a world
accept that as an explanation for the why that song is good. That is after all because you were like, no, it's not. There's white people everywhere, and then you're like, oh, there's not.
There's not.
But they continue to this day to try and tell you about the message of it, and now I'm saying, after all, what? Yeah.
Well,
excuse me. You didn't have a discussion with me. What do you mean? After all, you can't prove your point unless someone's asked you to.
They just went to the end of an argument. Without
they did. They went right to the end of it, and they're like, "See, look at you just saw that. It's a small world after all." It's like, whoa, okay.
I didn't say it wasn't.
It is. I agree.
I didn't even broach the subject.
I don't even know. Are we talking about geographically or like miles or just like culturally? Like I don't know.
Right.
We haven't even started the conversation yet, and you're just telling me how it ends. Not cool, Ride. Not cool.
Okay, I can honestly say I've never thought of it that way.
That's how my brain works.
There you go.
All right. What is this time?
This is a book.
Okay.
And the title of this book is Silver.
Okay.
Subtitle?
Hi Ho?
No.
Long John?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The title of the book is Silver, subtitled Return to Treasure Island.
Okay. I don't know anything about this, but I immediately thinking I need to read it.
You do need to read it. It's by an author named Andrew Motion.
Is this new?
It came out last year.
Okay.
It's new in trade paperback right now. That's why I have it. I saw it in hardcover last year. But as you can imagine, Treasure Island was one of, if not my favorite book growing up, one of them. It was influential on me as a little kid. Up there with like The Hobbit and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I saw, someone wrote a sequel?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not Robert Louis Stevenson.
That's right.
So where do you get off?
Where do you get off writing sequels?
So, the storyline seemed good. We're dealing with, 20, 30 years, almost 40 years after the events of Treasure Island. So we're now dealing with the kids.
Yeah.
Or the kid of Jim Hawkins.
Yeah.
Who is also named Jim. Jim Hawkins Jr.
Okay.
And we're also dealing with the child of Long John Silver.
Oh no.
No.
This is sounding dad to me.
I understand that. I understand. So you see why I was conflicted when I first heard about
that
this.
has me very concerned.
Yes.
Why would they ever need to interact with each other?
Well, that's where we're going to get to. Now, I was, of course, at first,
What are you doing? I'm sure it's got good reviews. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have picked it up.
Correct. It's got excellent reviews. And what really convinced me was that the author, Andrew Motion, he's a poet laureate of the United Kingdom.
Okay.
He is the foremost expert on Robert Louis Stevenson.
Interesting.
Biographer and things like that.
All right. So he wouldn't want to sully
Correct.
the good material.
He is like the keeper of the Robert Louis Stevenson keys, so to speak, in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
So that led me to think, okay, well maybe it's not like we're not just trying to cash in here.
Yeah.
He was doing something to pay homage to that original story. Now, having read it, it is amazing.
Okay.
Because he wrote it, he's such an expert on Robert Louis Stevenson.
He made it right. He wrote it like as though he was.
Yes.
That's cool.
It sounds like Robert Louis Stevenson wrote it at that time period. Like it's not written in modern prose. It's written in the late 1800s prose that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things like if you closed your eyes and just listened, you would think Robert Louis Stevenson was talking to you.
Yeah.
That type of experience. And although yes, it sounds like it's their kids and no, it actually makes perfect sense how they end up meeting each other and stuff like that, and what has happened to the original Jim Hawkins.
Yeah.
And to Long John Silver in the intervening time period.
Yes.
And both of them are, because nothing as exciting as that ever happened to them again in their lives.
Yes.
It was, it's hard to start life that amazing. And then.
Well, obviously it wasn't the start for Long John.
No,
for Jim, yes.
For Jim, yes. And Long John is pretty much on his deathbed.
Okay.
As this story is unfolding.
Right.
But.
Explain how Long John Silver has a kid. Why he has it.
Yes. And in fact, if you think about it, in the original, because I looked it up.
Yeah.
In the original, it talks about how Long John Silver had left a colored lady back home that he was married to go on this adventure. And then at the end, when he escaped, there was some hypothesis that he might try to get back to her.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
So
I do vaguely remember that.
He does carry over. He doesn't make up hardly anything. He's carrying over not only story points from the original Treasure Island, but symbolism from the original Treasure Island and all that type of stuff. And part of it is kind of a cool, like the bird that's Long John Silver's bird. Mm-hmm. He still has it.
Okay.
Dead.
He's dead.
But it's stuffed.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
The Pieces of Eight
The
one?
Pieces of Eight bird, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that.
Is Captain Smollett in this movie at all?
Captain Smollett. No, Captain Smollett is not in this book.
Damn it, he's my favorite. What about Ben Gunn?
Well, I don't want to give away stuff about that.
All right.
I want the audience to...
Okay.
Just because...
Yes.
There are spoilers, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a new captain who's pretty cool, who you would like.
Yeah.
And so you deal with a lot of the same themes. It's kind of a redux of Treasure Island, just a little bit, but it adds a little bit more to it now that we have the old
to reference.
Yeah. We get some new stuff, and it right at the very beginning, he references a line from Treasure Island that says that they took, they went to the island and they took some of the treasure that was there.
Yeah.
So now they're going back
to get the rest
of it. And it becomes much bigger than just getting the treasure.
Of course, yes.
But all right,
I'm interested.
And the title is both referring to Long John Silver and the solid silver bars that they go back to get.
I see.
Because when they reference the original map, and I do remember this from the original story, there's a whole place where it talked about Silver's silver.
Yeah.
And they never got that.
Yeah.
That's what they're going back for. Silver wants his silver.
Okay.
That's why he's sending his daughter. And when she says, "Well, who knows how to get to this island?" She's like, "There's only one person.
Yeah.
Who knows how to get there?
Yeah.
And it's Jim Hawkins. You've got to go get him."
And of course, Jim Hawkins is like, "I'm not going."
Now you have the children meeting. You see what I'm saying? Because Jim Hawkins is the only one who has the map.
I like that because that's consistent with John Silver's character too.
Yeah.
He wouldn't really care. He'd be like, go get it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I want it, because it's mine.
So, and then, like I said,
All right.
it grows more than that.
Yeah, I want to read it now, so don't spoil it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And I think you'll enjoy it.
on my list of millions of things that I still need to read.
But I was just so impressed with the way that he managed to capture
That's
Robert
really
Louis
cool,
Stevenson's voice.
Yeah.
You totally feel like you're reading another Robert Louis Stevenson book. And it shows that this guy is a poet laureate, because this is definitely a love note to Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yeah.
One little spoiler, it's not really a big spoiler. There is one character who he spends all of his time up in the crow's nest of the ship that they end up taking, the Silver Nightingale, to Treasure Island. And he's the one who's kind of overseeing this entire journey. And the character's name is Mr. Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
So it's
like
a little
illusion.
Yeah.
Is there a black spot?
Maybe.
Okay, that's good. That's good then. Obviously, it's a yes.
I'll tell you this. I was excited, but I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. On the first page, he referenced grog, a rasher of bacon, and thick brown bread.
Yeah.
And I knew I was ready to go.
Okay.
Because you can't have a sailing story.
Well, you know how to get rid of the black spot, right?
How?
Ajax. Yeah. That one's for my dad. He'll think that's hilarious.
All right. Well, there you go, Fred. You would like this book too.
That's true.
But yeah, definitely check it out.
Okay.
Anytime you talk about rashers of bacon on the first page.
Yeah, rashers of bacon.
You know you're good.
Probably woke up to that too, and you know how much you're into that.
Exactly.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So check it out. Silver, Return to Treasure Island by Andrew Motion.
We'll put the a link up to something about it on the web.
Absolutely.
On the Facebook page, FITB Films.
Yeah, but that's what that is.
Facebook.com/FITB podcast. Remember, the contest still ongoing.
That's right.
Name that film.
Name that film.
We sent out an epic film.
That's right.
You now must name it in order to win a $10 gift card to Amazon.
Yeah, you have to have your responses in by July 15th. Yep. But if you do, you'll get that special prize.
And just remember to tell your friends about the podcast.
Yeah, and the contest.
Alrighty. See you next time.